biscuit. The true cost of transitioning has been my hairline. I'm kidding. That was a very bad joke, I'm sorry. From name change to new birth certificates, with hormones and surgery in between and other stuff. I say other stuff, I can't actually think of other stuff off the top of my head. What does being trans and transitioning cost? Well, what did it cost for me? Which may also be applicable to some of you, or might not be, which means this video might just be useless, unless you're curious. Curious. Hey Spuds! Welcome back to another video. It's Jamie. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you are going to enjoy it. Today I'm going to be talking about how much my transition cost. From the very first thing I did with socially transitioning to the very last thing I did with changing my birth certificate. What was the monetary cost? The non-monetary cost was completely priceless and I'm significantly happier now and just content and feeling complete as a person. But we're not talking cheese here, we're talking money. I get asked a lot, I have been asked a lot over the years how much each aspect of my transition cost, from testosterone, appointments, surgeries, top surgery, lower surgery, gender recognition certificate, everything. How much does it cost to transition? So I've decided to put it all into one neat, hopefully not too long and boring video for you. Yay! So for this video to make sense, we're gonna go right back to the beginning, like nearly 9 years ago, to when I was first starting my social transition, so buying binders and trying out with packing and changing my name legally via deed poll. So a binder was the first thing I got. I actually got two. I got one from a place called Tea Kingdom and one from a place called Underworks, and in total I think for the both of them it cost me about £50. I know that sounds like a lot of money for binders. You can just start out with one, or you can look into binder exchange things. I will of course be putting like a bunch of resource and useful, hopefully helpful links in the description box below, so pretty much anything I'm talking about there should be a link down below if you're confused or want more information, so just so you know. And I also bought a packer earlier on in my transition. It wasn't something I ever really liked using, I only tried it once or twice, but I bought one. Packing or a packer is something you wear in your pants to give the appearance of a penis bulge. And I bought an extra small Mr. Limpy. I've always loved that name. And extra small because I've never cared about size. Well, it's also extra small is the average size. The large is a monster dick. I would not recommend buying it unless you literally really want a difficult time packing. But anyway, the extra small Mr. Limpy cost me £10. I wore it twice and then it disappeared. I've never seen it again, have no idea what happened to it. And then I changed my name via deed poll, which is the way in the UK that you can legally change your name, and deed polls can then be used to change your name on official documents like, I forgot all the names of the official documents, driving license, passport, at your bank, at your doctor's surgery, those types of things. And my one cost me £30 and I bought 5 copies. I'm very proud to say I still have 4 of those original copies. I thought I was going to lose all of them. I've only misplaced one, and I think that's because I sent it away somewhere and they never sent it back because they don't send documents back, so technically it's not my fault. But I do know that you can make these for free. You can write them up and print them yourself and get, as long as they're signed by a witness and they have the right wording in and stuff. I have heard that they work the exact same as the ones you can buy. But make sure you do your homework into getting it right to ensure that they work. That was like the socially transitioning costs. They're reasonably low. Binders, packer, name change, done. Changing names on documents. Certain documents were actually cost money. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think my driving license was about £50 and my passport was 100 and something, or maybe 80 something. That does cost money as well, so just so you are aware. The next big thing was testosterone. In the UK there are 2 different paths to getting testosterone and also having surgeries as a trans person: private and NHS. If you go privately, the process is much quicker, but it does cost money. You pay for things like appointments and surgical procedures. If you go through the NHS, you do not pay for appointments or procedures or things like that. Your only cost really will be your travel to appointments, but it is a much slower process. So to put it in perspective, when I started transitioning, I was told at least 2 years until I would start testosterone if I went through the National Health Service, the NHS. I went privately and that took 4 to 5 months, so just for comparison. So testosterone, the voice breaker, the beard giver, T. I went to a private gender clinic called Trans Health, which no longer is functioning, open, operating, does not see patients anymore. And to start testosterone, I needed 3 appointments, 2 with the specialist doctor and 1 with the specialist counsellor. My initial appointment with the specialist doctor cost about £240, and then the follow-up appointment with him cost £130, and the appointment with the specialist counsellor was about £120. So all in all, it was about £500 to actually get given my letter of recommendation to start testosterone. And then my NHS doctor at like my local doctor's surgery place wrote my prescriptions for me. And this is something called shared care, where you get a private recommendation for treatment, but your NHS doctor writes the prescription and deals with certain aspects of that treatment. And so when I first started testosterone, this cost me £7 something every time I needed to refill my prescription. It now costs me £9, inflation, and that varied depending on the dose and type of testosterone I was on, to needing to be refilled every month to every 3 months. Currently I'm every 2 months. Again, for perspective, NHS versus private, if I had gotten my testosterone privately on the type I started on initially, which was gel, for a 3-month supply, it would have cost me £120 back then. I don't know what it would be now, probably a little bit more, I would guess, but that's roughly £40 a month, if my maths is right. Then at 3 months on testosterone, I paid £130 to get a checkup from the specialist doctor, and then I did another one just before 6 months, another £130, and that's when I got my referral for top surgery. My top surgery was also private and cost me a total of £5,925. All in all, because I realise I have just thrown a massive amount of numbers, and some very massive numbers, at you guys, the total cost for me to start testosterone and get top surgery privately was roughly £6,700. If I'd gone through the NHS for this, the cost would have been nothing except for my travel and my prescriptions. I think I had about 2 to 3 more checkups with the gender clinic over the next year or so. I changed testosterone types at 1 year, and then I had another follow-up with him just to see how things were going, and that was £130 again each time, so another £260. And since then I've just gone to my GP to get my bloods checked. PSA, do make sure that you get your testosterone levels, your cholesterol and your liver function checked regularly when taking testosterone. And then came time for a penis. I don't know why I said it like that. Then I had lower surgery. And lower surgery is something that I had quite a few many years after I had top surgery, and I went through the NHS for it. This is because, depending on the complexity of lower surgery procedure you want, it can cost anything from about £10,000 right up to like 50, 60, 70,000 plus. Like, it can cost a lot of money. So I got a referral for an NHS gender clinic in October 2015, and I had my first stage of lower surgery in January 2018, and then my final stage in July 2019. Then the very final thing I did, yes, this video is nearly over, was get a gender recognition certificate, which is something in the UK that means you've legally changed your sex and you can change your birth certificate. And then I got my birth certificate after I got my gender recognition certificate. So for the gender recognition certificate, or GRC, because the whole thing is a mouthful, the GRC, that application cost me £140. A specialist medical report from my private clinic doctor cost me £130, and then there were postage costs on top of that. So it's about, like, what is that? Why can I not math right now? Just under £300. All costs of that though, aside from postage, are avoidable. If you're on a certain income, then the fee for the application can get waived. And if you're not seeing a private clinic but you're going through the NHS, I don't think they charge you for the medical reports. This is probably all information that will not make much sense unless it's a process you're looking into, but if it is a process you're looking into, hopefully it's helpful. And then my new birth certificates, yes, multiple, because even though I was very good with my deed polls, I am scared of losing my birth certificate. So I have 2 copies, and for both of them it cost me £46, but it could have cost me £22, but I paid extra to get them quickly because Shara and I had a wedding thing that we needed to do that I needed a birth certificate for. Yeah. So yeah, that was the actual cost of my transition from start to finish. This will obviously vary greatly depending on who you are, where you live, what transition stages you're gonna do, what route you take, everything. But just because I get asked a lot, I wanted to put it all in one video, each breakdown of the different steps and different costs of my transition. And hopefully some of it can be useful and just be interesting if you're from a different part of the world, or you're not trans and you just wanted to know how much it costs for a trans person in the UK to transition and the different routes available. Yeah. That's everything. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you liked it, think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you want to, but no pressure if you don't. And I will see you next time. Much love. Bye.